I don't know. I'm not very good at predictions. And prediction type questions sort of assume that history plays itself out like a movie. We're sitting there passively and watching, and you're asking me to guess what's coming next in the second reel. I don't know. I'm not good at guessing what's going to happen, but I also kind of reject the model that assumes that things will happen of their own accord. I think it depends on what we do. Not to be too simplistic about it, I hope. Whether 10 years from now we're still beating kids to death with standardized tests depends on us. It depends on us as educators, as parents, and as citizens. If we're able to build a movement, an opt-out movement for parents to boycott the tests and to follow the lead of courageous teachers who have declined to give them and certainly to teach to them, then history will point, then the answer to your question will be very different than if we shrug our shoulders and say, well, this is just life. This is the way things are. That train has left the station, et cetera. That will point in a different direction. The same thing is true of what teacher educators do in universities. Are they preparing young teachers to fit in and mindlessly capitulate to moronic mandates? Or are they preparing young teachers to be reflective rebels? Yeah. And that's true with respect to any number of these things. Are teachers going to first look at a bunch of demands? You got to give this much homework a night, even though research fails to find any benefit to any kind of homework before high school. And newer research is calling into question the value of homework even in high school. So making kids work what amounts to a second shift doesn't help academically, and it does nothing but harm in terms of their attitudes about learning. So are teachers going to take a mandate to give homework and shrug and say, oh, well, that's what's expected of me, I'm going to do it? Or are they going to respond by saying, this doesn't make sense? So my first impulse is going to be to reach out to my colleagues, to organize, to mobilize, to provide the administrators and parents with the relevant arguments and evidence, and to insist on doing what makes sense. We could repeat variations of that same question, that same fork in the road, this or that, with regard to any number of aspects of education. And that will determine the answer to your original question of what will things look like X years from now.